It's not just about mastering technology. It's not just about brand or messaging. It's not just about making more money. It's about showing up in a big way so your people can find you. This is about bringing your most wild and authentic self into the hustle and grind. Welcome to Tactical Magic, a business strategies podcast for the warrior goddess entrepreneur. Hey everyone, welcome back to Tactical Magic Podcast. This is Molly Mandelberg, your host, and I have a very amazing woman with me today. Before I tell you about her, I just want you to know this is a more business-oriented episode. I'm hoping that anyone who listens to this will get inspired to tackle their dream and chase their vision and grow their business, hopefully, with some of the amazing ideas and tools that we're going to talk about. I knew Terri Levine and I were going to get along really well. Just right off the bat, we both recognized we're really passionate about heart-centered entrepreneurship, and that is even part of Terri's brand. So I'm going to let the intro roll, and then we'll dive right into this episode. Awesome. So Terri Levine is the founder of Heartrepreneur and is a business and executive coaching expert. She assists businesses worldwide with business growth, sales, and marketing. She has more than 40 years of business experience, encompassing work with more than 5,000 business owners and entrepreneurs in a variety of industries. She is also a best-selling author with dozens of books. Talk about productive. She has her own radio and TV show and is also a keynote speaker. Terri has a passion for helping businesses to grow with her own personal experience gained while building multiple successful businesses from the ground up. Terri has created the Heartrepreneur cause, teaching business owners to do business heart to heart. Terri conducts training seminars, programs, and courses to help people develop business coaching skills. Through her processes, she loves helping entrepreneurs become more profitable and increase their bottom line. She's passionate about speaking to business owners about what tactics they can do to skyrocket their businesses. And that's perfect because we're all about tactics and tactical magic on this show. Welcome, Terri.
It's so good to be here, Molly. And yes, instantaneously, I just resonated with you and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here. So 40 years of experience, 5,000 business owners and entrepreneurs that you've supported. What is your favorite thing about the work that you do?
It's actually what happens when a client does well with me, because then they can go serve a lot of people. So, if they're a chiropractor, now they're helping a lot of people. If they're a naturopath, now they're helping a lot of people. If they're a coach, it doesn't matter. I'm helping them so they can go help more people, and their success is what makes me happy, period.
I love that. Yes, the ripple effect. I think when I started working with other business owners as well, because when I started my business, I was doing more one-on-one practice of just healing work. And when I started working with entrepreneurs, I realized that suddenly the ripple effect of the impact I can make with one person just grew exponentially, because suddenly they're helping more people. And that's just this like wider fractal array of support. So I love that. That's a great point. Will you tell us a little bit about your journey? I know a lot of people listening are maybe just on the brink of becoming entrepreneurs, or they've just dove into being entrepreneurs. Like, what was that like for you? What was the turning point or the moment that you decided to do it, and how has it grown since then?
All right, so I'm a little unusual. I graduated college. I had a master's degree at the time in speech language pathology, and I started my own clinic. I did not know this, no one had ever been in speech pathology in private practice at that time. I didn't even know that. It's probably good I didn't know that. And I knew nothing, right? I come out of graduate school. I know how to diagnose and I know how to treat patients. I don't know the first thing about a business. I don't know how to open a business account, checking account, save. I knew nothing. So it was very difficult. It took a lot of persistence. I was transplanted from the East to the Midwest to a very small town. No one knew me. I didn't know anyone. And that's how my journey started. I got really good at marketing really fast, because honestly, after 6 months, I was going to be out of business. And I said, I have got to figure this out. And I did. And then I grew the business and sold it for $1 million 3 years later. By the way, $1 million when I sold it in 1982, that was a lot of money in 1982. And my second business, I was able to get to $12 million, totally different business, an art business, really fast. So I had this journey. This is my 8th multi-million-dollar business, all different kinds of businesses. And I want people to hear one thing. I made one massive mistake. I spent 5 years in corporate America as president of a national healthcare company. I didn't fit, I was miserable, and I hated getting up in the morning. So when you find what you're really gifted at and what you're passionate at, I've been doing this now for 26 years, you just want to get up in the morning and do it every single day. So that's the biggest thing I can tell people.
I love that. And will you tell us more about the essence of Heartrepreneur and what that means to you?
So when I said I really didn't know sales and marketing, I didn't. And so I went and I spent all this money on learning all these sales things. And I went to sales seminars and I hired all the men back then, because there was all men who wrote books on sales and marketing. And I hired them, even though I had no money. I got a small business loan. And I learned over 180 closes, the penny close, the Ben Franklin close, the risk reversal close, and I could memorize them, right? Well, the first day that I used this, I sold. And I came home and I threw up. And my husband is like, what are you throwing up for? And I'm like, I talked someone into buying something that didn't want to buy. And from that day on, I realized I had to do business in integrity, transparency, and with authenticity. So I threw out every book I had. I had wasted a lot of money on all these mentors. And I said, all I'm going to do is just become the best listener I can and just help people. So doing this for years and years and years, I'm writing a book years ago. I'm in New York chatting with my publisher. And all of a sudden he goes, I don't want the book I have you under contract for. I'm like, what? He goes, I want a book on how to be a heartrepreneur. That's who you are. And I remember saying, a heartrepreneur, what? Like what? He said, I've known you for 11 years and you're an entrepreneur who does business heart to heart, building relationships without sales and marketing. Write me that book. So Molly, I had to go home on the train from New York to Pennsylvania, and it was, hours. And I'm thinking, heartrepreneur. And by the time I got home, it resonated so much. I trademarked it, I branded it, I changed the name of my company. And now my entire day literally is spent just helping people do business by building relationships. We don't hunt for clients. We do reverse marketing. They raise their hands and come to us. We don't have to spend money on ads. And it's a whole different way of doing business. That's Heartrepreneur.
I love that. That is a beautiful, synopsis of what Heartrepreneur is. Would you be willing to share some more of the tactics of how to do that in relationship marketing is what I call it, but Heartrepreneurship is really about building that connection and having people. I love the idea of people raising their hand rather than us going to them. For me, I know even just when it comes down to a sales page for a program, you want to let people know who it's for, but also who it's not for, and being really explicitly clear about who exactly would not be ready for this yet or who it's not right for. So I'd love to know some of your other tactics and insider secrets if you're willing to share.
We're here for that, so yeah. I'll do it. The first thing that I'll just say is, instead of creating an elevator pitch like so many people do, it sounds like a bunch of jargon and everybody's a cookie cutter. You want to create what I call a core unique positioning statement, so that when someone's comparing you, you literally stand alone in the market. So I'll give you 2 examples. In my business, I am the only business consultant that I know of. And if somebody knows one who does what I do, show them to me. That guarantees a 200% return on investment, or I give you all your money back plus $5,000. Okay. So when someone's shopping for a business consultant, if they're not shopping for a business consultant, just like you said, they turn their head and they go, well, I'm not going to be interrupted by that. I don't want that. If someone is shopping for a business consultant, they go, what? And they pay attention. So the first thing is core unique positioning that interrupts your market with the pain that they have and with a guaranteed result. The second thing that I want to say to people is, here's what I'm seeing a lot of. I see people just throwing up tactics all over the place. It's like, I don't know, it's like a dartboard. You're just throwing darts. It's like, oh, maybe I'll try a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group. Maybe I'll do a course online. Maybe I should start a podcast. And it's all this stuff. So first you create a strategy, right? You start with the end in mind. I wrote a book years ago with Stephen Covey, and he talks about start with the end in mind. when you know what your overall strategy is. So mine is reverse marketing, which means people raise their hand and they say, I might want what you have. Okay. I don't look for them. They come find me. My strategy is to have them do what we call a profit acceleration session. So my end result is someone who raises their hand does a profit acceleration session where we can see, can we really help them? And they can see the same thing and we could decide if it's a fit or not. My tactics, I have 77. I recommend to every single person that you only use 2 per quarter. I'll say that again, 2 per quarter. Because otherwise you're all over the place. You're wasting a lot of time and energy. So for example, I like to teach, let me give you another core unique positioning before I teach this. I have a realtor. She looked like every other realtor. I help you sell your house, blah, blah, blah. Her core unique positioning is now, I will sell your house in 90 days, guaranteed, or I'll buy it. Okay. All right. And I said to her, can you guarantee that you'll sell the house in 90 days? She goes, I'm not going to take any houses that I don't think I could sell in 90 days. So all of a sudden she went from representing about 14, she had 14 sellers to 42. Okay. Wow. Changed her business. So that's core unique positioning. All right. My second point is you only want to use 2 tactics. All right. So right now I'm using 2. I have an automated webinar at tlwebinar.com. People go there all day. If they like the webinar and they want help after, they raise their hand. It's automated, it's leverage. I don't spend any time hunting for anyone. And the second thing is very simple. I have someone that I meet or that I'm speaking with or that I'm introduced to. If I dig them and if I like them, I'll have a conversation with them without any agenda. Totally not sure where the outcome is going to be. You and I met, it was like, hey, what are we going to do? Let's have fun. Yeah. And sometimes those people, right, they become clients or they come on a podcast or they come on yours or you come on mine or you refer to somebody, who knows? So every day, my goal is 5 authentic conversations. These are my 2 tactics. 5 authentic conversations, heart to heart, no agenda, and an automated webinar where people raise their hand.
Awesome. So that's this quarter. What's next quarter?
Great question. Well, I'm definitely keeping the automated webinar because we're generating 19 qualified leads every week. So we're definitely keeping that. I love having heart-to-heart conversations. However, next quarter, someone on my team who I've trained for the last 3 months, they're going to have the heart-to-heart conversations. And what I'm going to be doing is running some live webinars. So I'll be teaching 1 piece at a time for free live. So I might be teaching, this is how we get an average of 19 leads a week. So I might teach that 1 week. And the next week I might teach, this is how we convert people into saying yes without using any sales techniques. And so I'm going to have fun just doing webinars and just giving away more value. And those will be live and there'll be a whole series of them.
The state of calm and peace that comes from zeroing in on this entire quarter, that's 3 whole months of my year. I get to put everything else aside and focus on these 2 things. There's so much ease just inlaid within that. I love that. I just in the last year and a half started focusing on what my targets were for each quarter. So last quarter was about finishing the first draft of my book and also launching my 6-month program, which is just starting again in a few weeks. And then I don't have to worry about launching that this quarter. I don't have to worry about the first draft. And luckily my book is off the table right now because my brilliant writer of a mother is editing it. So it's in her court until it's back in my court. But there's so much less potential for overwhelm or burnout when we don't feel like we're on every single target at the same time. And it doesn't mean that those aren't valuable. It doesn't mean that they're not allowed to still come to mind, still be, processed and pondered through. I don't know about you, but I wake up in the middle of the night or as I'm trying to go to bed, I have to wake up and turn the lights back on to write ideas down or to let that piece of copy that's been gestating come to life. Those things can still come out, but they're not becoming the center of your attention on the parts of your calendar that are creation times. It's focused on what are those things that I'm creating or what are those conversations that I'm having. I really love that. That's such a grounding practice to just simplify down to 2. What are some of the other things that you've done in the past? I just want people to have ideas of if I was just going to do 2 things for 3 months, what are some other strategies that could come into play?
When I first started in my consulting business, oh my gosh, 26 years ago now, I got 30 clients in 30 days, and then I had a waiting list. And people always ask me, like, how did you get 30 clients? So first I'll say it still works today because I have a brand new client. I mean, brand new. Tomorrow will be her 14th day with me. She started from zero. She was just starting a business, and she's at $96,000 in 14 days. And she just modeled exactly what I did. So here's what I did.
Yes.
Every single day, the first thing that I did was I did make 5 connections. Now, when I started, the internet was barely a thing. We certainly didn't have webcams, and we didn't have Zoom and Facebook. We don't have any of that. So what I basically had her do is figure out who could she reach out to every day, not for the purpose of them being a client, but for her sharing her excitement. Like, hey, Molly, do you have a few minutes? I just started something new and I just want to share, and literally just sharing. And what has come from that, so strategy number 1, what has come from that are very engaging conversations. Some people who wanted her help and hired her, and many people who said, you know what, my accountant could use someone like you, or my cousin or my sister. And so that's where a lot of her business has come from. And the second thing I had her do is use social media organically, not using ads. Use social media to make connections, not to put a bunch of posts and garbage up there. Every single day to find a handful of people that are either posting or commenting on things that you can help them with or that you resonate with, and then offering help. So I'll give you an example. She is helping people just like her, very young, early 20s, who basically don't have a career anymore because of what's happened with college. And she has no idea if she's ever going to be going back to college live. And she decided to start her own business, and she decided to help people who were just like her learning to start a business. And she's like, I just want to help young people who may not finish college start their own. Cool. That's her niche. Okay. Like, if you're not her niche, you would turn away.
Yeah.
So I find those people and literally just reach out to them and say something like, hey, Molly, I saw that you are like me, your college semester thing is kind of done. I just started to do something about that. You want to jump on a Zoom for like 15 minutes? I'd love to chat. Boom. That's how she's done it. Those are just the 2, and that's all she's using, 2 tactics. Literally right now, she's telling me she's working about 4 hours a week. And like I said, she's almost at 100 grand in 14 days.
Amazing. Amazing. What else is even possible? How brilliant. And that's the power. I forget who it was. If it was, what's his name? Tim Ferriss, who said, we're just a few uncomfortable conversations away from everything that we desire. So it's like, where are we shying away from having those conversations and focusing on, how much content can I put out there, which I'm totally guilty of because I love making content, or what's that next course that I want to make, rather than how many conversations can I have this week and what would I learn from them about what content I should be creating, or what can I just organically invite them to if that's where the conversation leads. The truth of business is it is a numbers game, and the more conversations that we have, the more likely success is. And as long as we keep doing that, it is bound to work out. As long as we don't give up, it's a mathematical inevitability. So I love that. Yeah. Awesome. So you are a brilliant, successful entrepreneur. What is it, of all the people who are out there listening, what would you want to encourage them to, I know this is a wild time in the world. If you're listening to this in the future, we're still very much in COVID times back in 2020. What's your message for people right now?
So the first thing is, building a business is an inside job. You can have the end game strategy, and then you could have proven tactics, but it really is from here that you build a business. So get some help working on yourself, your beliefs, and your mindset. It's the very first thing that I did. I'm just being very transparent. I worked on me first. I made sure that I could come across as confident and that I had belief in myself. And in today's world, I think now more than ever, we need to make sure that we're in the right mindset. And I know there's all kinds of, loneliness and depression and wondering, are we going to, wear masks or whatever. So that's the first thing. No matter what time frame you listen to this at, there's something going on in the world and in your universe and in your personal life. So get some help. That is not a go do fix alone. get a professional. And I'm not talking, it has to be a therapist. It could be a life coach. It could be a mindset coach, a belief coach. Work with someone. Second thing, I wish I knew this, and I'm saying this to like my young Terri self when I started my first business. Get a mentor, get an advisor, get a business consultant, get a strategist. Don't go this alone, because you're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's inevitable, and that can be very costly. So instead of doing that, you can earn from the mistakes of others. You don't have to learn mistakes. You can earn because they've already made them. I've made them. Trust me, Molly, you've probably made some, right?
Oh, for sure.
We all have. So the best thing to do is to find someone who's been there, done that, and who says, I'm going to help you, I'm going to take you, I'm going to teach you, nurture you, take you under my wing, and I'll really be there and guide you. Find someone who is the real deal for you, that you resonate with, whoever that person is. Hire them. And, you know, I tell people this all the time. I have right now, 8 people that are coaches, advisors, or strategists for me. I pay 8 people. I pay 1 person for humor, 1 person for my relationship, 1 person for my health and wellness. I pay a business strategist who's running 1,000,000 times faster than me. So I always have help. Don't go it alone. It's lonely to build a business by yourself, and it's costly, and it can take a really long time. And too many businesses fail by trying to do that.
Yes, I 100% concur that mentorship and support are pivotal, crucial to our growth and our trajectory on the upward spiral. I love that. So you've got a proven system. Obviously, we've just gotten a lot of your magic out of you. Thank you for sharing. But will you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on right now?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking. So I have 2 things that I'm really excited about. First is the webinar that I talked about. And I would say base your webinar on mine because it works. So I'm going to like tip my hand and say, just go model mine. And it's my initials for Terri Levine, tlwebinar.com. And it's educational. It's not a sales pitch in disguise. I literally teach the 7 deviations that make the biggest difference. Then I've just done something brand new that I'm super stoked about. I had recorded for my clients 4 different videos teaching my best lead generation strategies for reverse marketing. And I just said, my clients love them. I'm just going to give them away. So I put them at the ultimatebusinessgrowthsystem.com. And they're there. You just go and you can get all the videos. It's all free help. So I've got that going on. And I literally every single day just show up and I say, who needs help? Who can I serve? And that's what I'm here to do.
Beautiful. And you can tell that running your business the way that you're doing it is filling your cup. And I just want to acknowledge that in you and how beautiful it is to witness. And I feel like I'm experiencing that state in my own business, in my own life. And I just desire everybody to have that level of ease and know-how, and to know that they're supported in creating the vision for their business and for their lives that they want to create. So I'm super grateful for that. So go find Terri. She's on Facebook as Terri Levine. Is that your business page?
It's Heartrepreneur, Terri Levine. Yeah.
Heartrepreneur, Terri Levine. And then are you also on Instagram or any other platforms you want them to find you on?
Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter as Mentor Terri, on LinkedIn as Terri Levine. And the most active place is a Facebook group, Heartrepreneurs with Terri Levine, where people who are heart-minded and like-minded, we'd love to have you hang out so that Heartrepreneurs do business with Heartrepreneurs, so that you hang out and we can make connections.
Awesome. I've been in a couple business sort of Facebook groups like that are super engaged and super generative. So don't discount all Facebook groups. If you're in some boring ones, definitely check out Terry's and see if it's more fun for you. Anything else you want to share before we sign off for the day?
The last thing is, if you're more the type of person who doesn't want to watch videos and, like I just want to read and I want to learn, I'm a best-selling author of 45 books. The one that I'm going to recommend, yes, I love to write. I can't stop. I'm addicted to it.
Me too.
The one I'm going to suggest is called Turbocharge Your Business. Turbocharge Your Business. People who don't like to watch videos, who pick up that book, get tons of value from it. It's, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, whatever. And I would like to suggest it. I think it can make a very big difference. It has a lot of case studies in there that you can relate to as well.
Awesome. We'll try to link that for y'all in the show notes of this episode or the description if you're watching on YouTube. And we'll give you those other links that Terri mentioned as well. Thank you so much, Terri, for being on the show today. I just love your energy, and I think what you're doing is brilliant. And I know people are so lucky to have you having their backs in their businesses. And for anybody who's listening or watching, please don't forget to subscribe to the show, rate and review us if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. That really helps the show a lot. And whatever happens, keep asking big questions and taking bold action, because you are here for a reason. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for tuning into Tactical Magic. To find out more, please visit our website, wildheartsriseup.com. Be sure to take a second and subscribe to the show, and come back next week for another edition of Tactical Magic.